What is up, people of the internet? It is Caleb here at Delve In MTG. Got all the Ixalan spoilers that have come out this week. It is Thursday, August 31st, 2017. We have about 65 spoilers that have come out so far. Super excited to go through all of these. Let's get started. Alright, before I do jump into the spoilers, I just want to talk about how these spoilers kind of got out into the open, why we're getting all these mythics and rares so early. So basically what happened was right about when the Hour Devastation spoilers were starting, or right before that. It might have been, kind of right in the beginning area. These pictures showed up online. They were of an uncut sheet of Ixalan. It was all rares and mythics from the set, and people were freaking out. They're just like, oh my god, all these rares, what happened? How did Wizards let this happen? I just bumped the mic, but that's okay. But yeah, they just came out with this statement the other day. They caught the guy who did it. They got him on tape. He's in jail. He's waiting trial, I believe. So they have legal proceedings pending. They can't really say a whole lot of details about stuff what they said. What's all going on. They basically said, "Hey, sorry, you're gonna have a weird spoiler season. Here's 50 spoilers today." So basically, we got all the spoilers that leaked out on the pictures earlier this week all at once, because that's, was what was on the uncut sheets. So that's a basic recap of what all went down with the Ixalan spoilers, why we're getting so much at once, and why we're going to be getting less than we normally would per day leading up, until the normal set comes out. So let's jump right in. All right, in mostly alphabetical order. First up, we got Ixalan, kind of a weird word to say. It's got a sweet mechanic, kind of reminds me of a Hearthstone mechanic. It's called Enrage. Whenever this creature basically is dealt damage, it has an effect go off. This particular one, the Ixalan, put a 1/1 counter on each other creature you control. Very strong. It is a 6-mana, 3/5, so 5 and a white. Definitely a curve topper. Probably gonna be one of the key cards for a limited archetype. Next up, we got Ashes of the Abhorrent. It's a 2-mana rare enchantment that says players can't cast spells from graveyards or activate abilities of cards in graveyards. Whenever a creature dies, you gain 1 life. So you got a nice little incremental life gain. It's kind of a narrow graveyard hate card. It definitely deals with Embalm and Aftermath cards, but for Standard, doesn't really do much else. In Modern, it has a little bit more utility to kind of hose Snapcaster Mage and stuff like that. Storm obviously can't go off anymore. It's kind of interesting you get to basically hose your opponent from casting their spells, but you can still use your graveyard to, for instance, delve. Obviously, you still can't do anything with the cards in your graveyard, but you can exile them to pay for a mana cost. So I kind of like this card. It's interesting. I don't really see... It might make it into some sideboards. That's about it. I don't know. It's kind of a weird one. I haven't been super impressed with it, but yeah, move on to the next. All right, next on the docket, we have Bishop of Rebirth. It's a 5-mana, 3/4, 3 and 2 white. It's got Vigilance, and whenever it attacks, you can return a target creature card with converted mana cost of 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. So, on the surface, this card looks pretty good. The only problem is double white Vigilance is good, but not great. 3/4 is the real problem for 5 mana. Now, you'd say 3 converted mana cost or less, that's pretty good. It hits a lot of different things, but you have to attack with it. So you might only get 1 use out of it. I really see this being a limited all-star and not a whole lot else. There might be 1 or 2 decks that pop up in the entire time that it's in Standard that utilize this card. I just don't see it making waves at all. Maybe once the next Ixalan set comes out, we get some sort of awesome vampire synergies going on, but until that happens, I really don't think this card's gonna make the cut. Moving on to a Gorging Ceratops. It's a 7-mana, 3/3, 5 and 2 white, has double strike, and whenever it attacks, other creatures you control gain double strike until end of turn. My gosh, wouldn't you say that's powerful? I'd say that's powerful. The only problem is you're probably never going to use it because it costs 7 mana. Now, it's a dinosaur. That's pretty awesome. The art on this looks awesome. All the dinosaur cards look really great, and having dinosaur as a new type is amazing. Great flavor win for Magic. Good all around. But the problem with these dinosaurs is they're very expensive, so it's really tough to say what's going to happen with them. Obviously, it's going to be good and limited because you usually can get the 7 mana, but unless a dinosaur deck pops up in Standard, then I just, like some sort of awesome ramp deck, I don't know if this is going to see any play at all, unfortunately. Coming up next, we have Kinjali's Sunwing. It's a 3-mana 2/3 flyer that says creatures your opponents control enter the battlefield tapped. It's going to kind of replace that Thalia we have in standard. It's got 3 toughness, so it survives shock, and Magma Spray, so that's an upgrade. The only downside is it doesn't hose your opponent's non-basic lands. But that's alright, it's great to have an effect like this. It is a rare, so good card. Next up, we got the Vampire, the legendary Mavrin Fine. I'm not sure if that's how you say it, but good enough for now. Mavrin Fine, Dusk Apostle. It's a 3-mana 2/2 legendary creature. Whenever one or more non-creature token vampires you control attack, create a 1/1 white vampire creature token with lifelink. So kind of a token generation for your team. Could get out of hand pretty quick. It'll be interesting. I think I'd actually like to play it with Yahenni, that legendary, because then you can just like make the dudes, sack them to pump Yahenni, and life is good. Next up, we have this unfortunate card, 1-mana 1/1 Priest of the Awakening Sun. It's a human cleric. It is rare. At the beginning of your upkeep, you can reveal a dinosaur card from your hand. If you do, you gain 2 life. And then it also has, you can pay 5, 3 and 2 white to sacrifice it, and then search your library for a dinosaur card, reveal it, put it in your hand, and shuffle your library. Yeah, you can tutor for a dinosaur with it and gain a little life for 1-mana 1. I just don't think it's worth the slot in your deck most of the time. Some decks might want it. I guess it would make sense if you're running the ramp deck and you really need to get your payoff dude, but I don't know if that's just going to be viable. Next up, we have Sanguine Sacrament. X spell, X and 2 white. Instant speed, you gain twice X life. Put Sanguine Sacrament on the bottom of its owner's library. This is at rare. This card is a trap, people. Do not play this card unless you're playing the one specific deck that wants it, and an Approach of the Second Sun deck that is just trying to stay alive until you draw your Approach the second time. The only other corner case is against mono red, and still, you need to put stuff on the battlefield to beat mono red, not gain a bunch of life that they're just going to take away from you again. They take your life away in huge chunks with Hazoret. It's just not going to work. Don't play this card unless you're playing a very, very, very specific deck that needs this exact thing. Life gain is not that good. Another pretty divisive card here, Settle the Wreckage. It's a 4-mana instant that says exile all attacking creatures target player controls. That player may search his or her library for that many basic line cards, put those cards onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle his or her library. It is a white instant, so definitely like mass path to exile. The only problem is the creatures have to be attacking, which means you can't deal with that problem creature that's pumping, their entire team. Also, this card can be played around extremely easily. All they have to do is attack with 1 or 2 creatures to make it not even worth casting this card, because once you cast it on these 2 creatures, then they'll just start attacking with their 3, 4 other ones. This next card is basically Torpor Orb on the creature. It's Takatli Honor Guard. It's a 1 and a white human soldier. It's a 1/3. Creatures entering the battlefield don't cause abilities to trigger. This card is just overall extremely good. Oh, it's a rare, by the way. Just a very good card. It's a great effect to have in standard, especially with Panharmonicon running around with all these new abilities that trigger upon entering the battlefield. In modern, this card is going to be pretty good. You can cord for it pretty easily, and you can collect a company for it. Pretty great card. Nice. It's another hate bear to play in your deck. Yeah, very happy with this card. Looking forward to playing it. That's all the white cards we had spoiled from Ixalan so far. If you want to check out the other colors, click on this video right here or right here.